Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yes, that's right, 2 videos in 1 week. That's a comeback. Welcome to my channel. This is Catch Your Breath Beauty. My name is Heather, and today we are going to delve into something a lot of people have already tried, but I'm a little late to the game, and that is going to be the ColourPop No Filter Foundation, and I have mine in shade Fair 10. It is a little bit darker than I would like. What is it? Shade 05 Fair is a little bit more yellow, and that is actually the concealer shade I am currently using to brighten my under eye, so 10 it is. So when I ordered this, I also got the ColourPop F17 foundation brush for free. So that was pretty cute. And I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face, and let's get into this first impression and wear test. All right, so I went ahead and scooted you guys in a bit closer so you can get the real effect of what I'm doing. So as you can tell, I have been going through some stress lately, and my face is showing it. With the extreme heat, it was actually 105 degrees plus humidity at my house today. So my skin is reacting in quite an aggressive way. So we will see what this ColourPop foundation has as far as coverage. So a little bit about the product. ColourPop No Filter Foundation comes in 42 shades. It is $12, and on their site, it is a 4-star rating. Let's see, it is 0.85 fluid ounces, and it claims to be full coverage and a natural matte finish. Oil-free and lightweight, build up or sheer down for custom coverage, and it has soft blurring pigments to deliver true color, and it's a lockable pump, and it's 100% cruelty-free and vegan. This is actually what the bottle looks like. It is very cute. I'm sure you've all seen it before. The little ColourPop stars. Very cute. Lockable pump, like I described. Just like a, face lotion or something like that. Real easy. I like this. Ease of use and dispensing is always the best. Now, as I'm shaking the bottle, it does sound watery. It did, like I said, came with this foundation brush. It does say on the website for fuller coverage to use a foundation brush, but I also have my trusty beauty blender in the event that things inevitably go wrong for me because I have extremely dry skin. So keep that in mind as I'm testing this product out, that my skin is kind of an outlier. I have quite a few conditions like rosacea, and the heat only exacerbates the whole deal, so I am extremely dry and red. Take that for what it is, and let's try this out. First, I am going to prime my face. It is the Hourglass Ambient Light Correcting Primer, and here's what she looks like. So I've never used this primer before, so I'm gonna, doesn't take much, extremely luminous, so it lives up to what it's saying. Now this feels very luxurious. It almost has a little bit of a lotion or gel moisturizer feel. Very luminous. I really think this is going to work out pretty perfect, having a luminizing primer, which I'm also going to use my pore filling primer from Benefit, the Professional Pearl. That way I go ahead and I take care of my T-zone. So I'm going to go in, like I said, with the Professional Pearl Primer. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a small amount on my finger And I am going to apply this to my pore-prone areas where I have not already put down the Hourglass primer, because I don't want too many products on my face at one time, because we don't want any caking or any of that kind of business. I do bring this up a bit on the forehead right here because I do have exaggerated pores here as well. Now that I have that all applied, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. Now, as I said before, you can actually hear this, it is very watery. I tend to want to put foundation on the back of my hand and dab in with my beauty blender, but today I am going to attempt to put it on the back of my hand and use the foundation brush that was provided by ColourPop for free. So we're gonna go ahead and see if that works. If not, Beauty Blender is going to come in and save the day. Now we'll see how this comes out. Like I said, it does sound watery. Ooh, it is quite runny. And it moves quick. So I'm not going to put very much on the back of my hand. And it does say on the website to start in the center of your face and work outward. So let's just go ahead and do as they say. Now, as I'm applying this with the brush, I do notice that it is picking up a ton of my texture right here underneath my eye area. Like I said, I've been having some skin problems lately due to stress. And that's always some of the worst acne I get. It's very patchy. So I'm sorry, but this brush is a no-no. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more, probably a pump and a half on the back of my hand because I don't want it to run everywhere. And I will go ahead and go in with my beauty blender and see if we can't fix this. It does say that it is buildable coverage, so I'm hoping to be able to go over the areas that I had already used the foundation brush on and see if we can recover those areas as well. Normally I don't care when foundation gets on my lips. I very often have the Nikki Tutorials foundation lips, but lately with how dry it's been, there's no way for me to be able to put foundation on my lips, and there's no way for me to be able to put foundation on my lips right now, have them not be the driest thing, like desert. Now I know it does seem very ghostly, but when I do lift up my neck, you can see I am extremely pale. I just do have a lot of redness in my skin. So when a foundation comes in with a bit of coverage and blocks that out, I tend to look very ghostly. It's because I truly am very pale. And that is why I tend to carry over. Now this will be, we'll just say 3.5 pumps now for. And this is with the Beauty Blender, no longer with the brush, so. And obviously my black mirror is throwing off the white balance of my camera too. So there's also that problem. Now I'm gonna take a little bit and do my neck. and that blended out perfectly right down my neck. Only thing that I'm seeing is a real problem is it's actually not grabbing to this part of my nose right here. I'm actually going to turn down my light just a tick so you can really see that it hasn't picked up much in that area. So we're going to try to attempt to clean this up real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead, the pump did get a bit messy, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that off on the back of my hand and put just the slightest bit more so I can pay a little bit of attention to my ears. Like I said, I'm extremely red, especially in the summertime, so having really super red ears when you have foundation on your face can be awfully embarrassing. I mean, you can just see the difference. Now it doesn't look like the foundation is too light for my skin because all of the redness has been canceled out, which I really appreciate about this product because redness is definitely one of the most challenging things for me as far as makeup goes, is getting rid of it and making it stay away. And yes, my ears are perfectly clean. Upon first application, I am giving it a real close look. I can see that it has grabbed at some texture right here in my under eye area, and it is grabbing a bit around my forehead, but it doesn't seem to be settling into my smile lines, which is usually the very first thing that happens with any foundation I wear, is I smile big one time and it creases. And I can definitely say that this isn't creasing in those areas yet. So I'm pleasantly surprised about that. Now it does not seem as matte as I thought it would be, which is actually to my benefit, which is exactly why I used the Hourglass Ambient Primer and the Pearl version of the Professional, just to luminize my entire face before I went in with something that is supposed to be so matte. Although it did a really good job canceling out a lot of my redness, I am seeing still right here and right here where it's really not wanting to grab. And I've reapplied and reapplied to that area. What does this make now? 3 times? The foundation does claim to be buildable, so that is exactly what we are going to test as I'm building this on my nose, attempting to get the level of coverage I desire before concealer. Okay, well, so far, upon first impression, I am pleasantly surprised, I have to say. Like I said, it's not what I imagined as coverage on my nose, but I do appreciate, as somebody with problem skin, that it is not clinging to my dry patches, and so far, and it is not sinking into my smile lines so far. We will definitely see as time goes on. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a wear test. And let's go ahead and get the rest of my base on and we can see how other products layer on top of this. I am of course going to go in with my ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and I am in shade 05 Fair, and it is, the lightest one is always out of stock. So when I do get it replaced, need my replacement very soon here, slightly lighter one so I can combine the two and kind of get the exact brightness that I would like under my eye, because to me sometimes this is just not light enough when my foundation is as light as it is. After I go in with that no filter concealer, I am going to set my under eye with the Becca, what is the Hydra Mist powder. I absolutely love this powder. It's magical. I don't know what it is, but it just melts into your skin and like refreshes and feels so, so good. And it doesn't leave a powdery looking mess under your eye. So somebody with dry skin or mature skin can definitely appreciate that. So I will be using that to set my concealer. Now, I don't tend to use so much. I just get up a little bit higher and then come down where my pores are. And I do work eye by eye because blending takes me forever and a day. And I'm not trying to have my concealer dry under the other eye while I'm still working over here. Now this area here is always where I have difficulties blending in concealers, anything, foundations, powders. So this area right here is generally the best test. This and my lines right here and the single one up here. That is always the tell for a good foundation and a good concealer. The ColourPop No Filter Concealer is actually my current go-to, so I am a little bit biased, and I was really hoping that she would work really well with her sister. I was like, please play nice together. Really, really hoping. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but I do believe that this concealer with this foundation, the shades are not exactly correct. This 05 Fair is, like I said, it's been my go-to, but my foundations have been a little bit darker, not so well shade matching lately. But I do believe that the foundation is better for my skin tone, but it is exaggerating the fact that there is a lot of yellow in the concealer, which there is actually, I have no yellow in my skin tone. So anything with even just the slightest bit, I have to be extremely careful with. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my Becca Hydra Mist setting powder, and I'm going to go ahead and set under my eyes. And I am doing that with a Luxie 660 Precision Foundation brush that we got in BoxyCharm. Can't remember which month, but it was very recent. Oh, that's good. That setting powder is just beautiful. You put it on your skin and you're like, where did it go? So cooling and just evens everything out like an absolute dream. You just sweep and gently press. It's so beautiful. It does have a slight pinky tone though, so I do want to bring that up. If you do have a lot of yellow in your skin tone, it might be a little too pink for you, so go ahead and head to Sephora and see if they can give you a sample. Work that sample, girl. So now that my under eye is set, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to conceal my nose right here on my forehead and my chin. And then I will go in with the same Hydro Boost powder and I will set those areas as well. You can definitely tell that shade 05 in the concealer is far too yellow for me. I do have shade 10 fair, so I'm thinking maybe if I mix that one with their lightest one, that I might be able to come up with something that actually works for me. However, I will say though that this is giving me the extra coverage that I need for foundation and everything to stay put on my nose. And I really enjoy the fact that the concealer is not moving the foundation around. Everything seems pretty well stuck where it's gonna, it's stuck in place, it's good, it's hanging out, we're all being friends. I like it, we're hanging out, we're being friends. They're playing well on the schoolyard together, guys. Look at this. I am quite enjoying this. I didn't think, I try to stay 100% unbiased. I try not to watch any review videos or anything like that before I review a product. But I do have a friend here on YouTube, BlindlyHonestly, and I will go ahead and link her channel down below. She just did her own review of the foundation, and she has a different skin type than I do, so our results might be a little bit different. So if you have more combination to oily skin, you can go ahead and head over to BlindlyHonestly and you can get a more specific opinion about your skin type. Now, as I said, I'm gonna keep going with my Luxie brush. I'm gonna set my nose. And up right here on my forehead, which I did not conceal and I will not conceal because I don't want to create any more yellow on my face. We are not going there today. I do have a lot of allergies, so I tend to touch my nose a lot throughout the day, so I might be powdering a little bit extra or doing things that you don't necessarily need to do. But as somebody with allergies, you gotta protect that noni. Protect it. So I'm really, really liking this a lot. All right here where I had such extreme redness, it's gone. And you can see the fold in my smile line, but it's not really sinking in. It's like stayed right there. I'm impressed so far. Now that I went ahead and I used my Becca powder to set every bit of concealer on my face, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a brand new product that I haven't used before, and it is the Hourglass Ambient Setting Powder. And this one is in Ethereal Light because I'm a ghost. So here's what she looks like. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. And I smell everything, and it really doesn't have a fragrance at all. It's just slightly powdery, and it's awesome to me. I mean, I'm just somebody who loves packaging in general, and I hoard a lot of it for some reason. Like, I swear I'm gonna do something really creative with it one day and it's just gonna be awesome. But until then, I'm just a crazy that likes packaging. It does come with its own little booklet, which for powders and stuff, I mean, I don't see very often, so kind of makes you feel a little bit special when you're picking out Hourglass products. I visited the Hourglass booth at Fame Expo. They were some of the nicest people I have ever met in my life. They were beyond helpful. It was absolutely wonderful. it was a great experience being at their booth. And I'm just a little bit sad because they didn't have my shade in the Vanish foundation stick. But I did get their Veil setting powder, which I'm gonna try that out. I just wanted to keep it luminous today and go with the Ethereal Light pressed setting powder because it's beautiful. It really is. It's just almost making me look doll-like. She likey. And see, I have smile lines, but they look natural, like not makeup bunching in them. They just look like just little smile lines, and I enjoy that. See, that's good. I enjoy having smile lines. It proves you've lived a good life. So far, very impressed with the whole concoction I have going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set down that powder, and we are going to bronze this muck. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the notorious on my channel, the notorious Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I use light bronzer. And actually, before I go ahead and do that, because I do have powders on my face, I'm just gonna scoot back and I am going to give myself a little spritz of Fix Plus, so that way I do not end up looking powdery by the time we lay down everything else. All right, I'm gonna lean in for you guys. Wow, as far as my blemishes, I mean, everything is laying. I don't know why I'm shocked. Maybe because it's $12. But I've been such a fan of the concealer. Like I said, it is yellow. Don't clock me in the comments. It is definitely yellow right here instead of highlighted. I know that. But everything is laying really well. I'm impressed so far, so let's go ahead and get to bronzing. I'm just gonna take my Morphe Y2, fluffy, you know, a little bit more narrow, so that way I can, you know, go ahead and buff it in, and instead of doing more of a contour, just kind of brighten the whole face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And I like to drag it up into my hairline. That's actually really nice. It's really not moving the foundation at all. It doesn't seem to be rubbing it off either. So how's everyone been? Like, I know it's been weeks and weeks, and you guys will get a video about what has been going on that has made me so incredibly absent, like ghosting YouTube. I pretty much ghosted every social media platform in the last 5 weeks. So I thank you, everyone who has tolerated my lack of communication, you know, people who have checked in on me and just have inquired about how I'm doing. I wanted to thank you all. You know who you are, and I am just so grateful to have you. I value you. I hear you, and I am doing my best to pull myself up out of the dumps and be that bad chick. I want to be that bad chick. That held up really nice with this bronzer, and this is my everyday go-to bronzer, so that's making me feel really good. Now we come to a product that I haven't used yet, and I'm so excited to do so because it is something that is very close to my heart. When I was at Fame Expo, I was fortunate enough to stop by the Girlactik booth, and I was able to meet the founder and owner of Girlactik. and she was an absolute sweetheart. If you check out my Instagram, I do have a picture of her and I on there. I went ahead and I picked up this blush shade. It is their Star Blush in shade Florence. And as you can see, it does have a mirror, little tiny mirror on the inside. And it does have a little bit of a sheen, a little bit of it. I would say it's more of like a satin instead of just a matte blush, but definitely not a shimmer. So I'm going to go ahead and use my crown brush. I believe this is just a blush brush. It doesn't say anything on it but crown. So no number, no nothing, it's crown. Florence is actually my grandmother's name, and she passed away while I was pregnant with my daughter. So I always believe that she is my daughter's angel. Ooh, you tap in. There's a lot. You do not have to play with this. A little bit dusty. We'll see how pigmented this is. Ooh, like right away. It looks really intense on camera, but it doesn't look intense in person. That's really bizarre. I like to go ahead and blend it in, and I'm gonna go back in with my bronzer. And then what I will end up doing is veiling this with some more of that luminous powder. Tap off. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Star Blush, beautiful, highly pigmented. Tap your brush off. See, because now I'm actually having the opportunity to build it up and mesh it in with my bronzer, which is exactly what I like to do. See, went in a little hard on this side. This one looks much better blended. So I am going to veil so we won't have to worry. And also it's a trick for everyone out there. If you do over apply, this is how to fix it. I do want to make you all aware that the fallout in these Star blushes is real. It is very, very real, and be careful. Tap everything off as you go, and it can actually be a buildable, beautiful blush, but you can mishandle it. I wouldn't say that it is as pigmented as the Pretty Vulgar blush that was in the BoxyCharm a few months ago. I wouldn't say that it is that pigmented, but it does ride the line a bit, so definitely tap off your brush before you use your Girlactik Star Blush. I am going to go back in with my Aesthetica P12, which we also got in BoxyCharm. And I'm gonna go ahead real quickly and just kind of lighten up underneath my bronzer. Just give it a little bit of help. And then what I'm going to do is then lightly bring that up and over. And there, now we have a much more even blush look. Everything is now properly brightened, properly illuminated, bronzed. Now, what is the last thing we do with our base? We do that highlight. That's right. And being the highlighter hoe I am, I do have something a little bit new to try, and it is the Girlactik Skin Glow Duo in Moonlight. And I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open and show you guys. It does come with a full-size mirror, and these are two sheer glowy, not a putty consistency, but a very glossy, smooth highlighter that I would definitely want to apply with my beauty blender or my finger. So I'm just gonna come in real quick, and I think I am going to use, I'm feeling peachy. So we're gonna come over here on this side. It's so, there we go, we'll hold it like that. It's so light catching that it literally does not want to be on film. So we're gonna force her right now. I'm going in with my beauty blender. I'm just giving it a few taps. And you can see in the pan, if you drag it, it does catch on the beauty blender. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see in the pan, but it pills a little bit. I feel like I want to go in with my finger though, because when you put it on your finger, it is so glossy and like wet and beautiful. Like perfect, like summertime. You know, that's really beautiful, but you can't really see it on camera. So what I'm gonna do, for the sake of the video and you guys being able to actually see the product on me. Now, when I'm applying it and blending it out with my finger, you get up close and it is absolutely beautiful. I have nothing like this in my collection yet, and it really is. It is absolutely beautiful. White balance. Gotta love being so pale. So it makes you look intensely pink. So I'm gonna go over it with the gold color, kind of gold, and mute that pink out just a little bit. Now, while this product seems a little bit difficult to work with, it does give you like that wet summer goddess kind of glow that I'm totally obsessed with right now. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bumps with the Beauty Blender. It does not seem to be, even though I'm having to work with it, it does not seem to be moving the foundation around. Now, whether that is to Girlactik's credit, I'm not sure, or if it's the awesome foundation underneath, still not sure. So that is what the wear test is for. So this is what we have so far. My base is now complete, and okay folks, now that we have all of my base down and we've got this foundation working, doing its thing, setting up, seeing if we'll oxidize, I am going to go ahead and complete my look, and I will be back in just a second. And here we are, folks, with the final look. There was a little bit of time between my base and my eye makeup application, so I decided to forego an initial check-in and just give you the final one. Here I am, 6 hours in. This is probably about as late as I'm going to be staying up tonight, so 6 hours it is. That's not necessarily a bad thing because this is just shy of what would be, you know, a work day. anywhere between 8-12 hours. Let's just say average, probably more like 12. Well, we'll say average. What I'm noticing on close inspection is that there is an awful lot of exaggerated pores in the triangles underneath my eyes, which I'm pretty sad about because I really wanted the concealer and the foundation to play well together. And while they didn't move each other around. They layered nicely. The Beauty Blender, you know, it worked its magic. It did its thing. But as far as sticking together for the long haul, I don't think they're ready for marriage. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's starting to settle into a little bit of my fine lines. That's not the biggest problem that I see. The biggest problem that I see is that right here along my nose, and you can see across the bridge here, and my chin. You can see that there's still powder there, but it is almost as if the foundation just rubbed off and magically there's just powder left. I don't know what's going on. So I don't like the way it looks, and it's kind of breaking up a bit right here in this area. So not too excited about that. And it is really starting to break up here on the tip of my nose even. Oh, this is not going to be something that is going to be for an entire workday. This would be good definitely for modeling, quick trip out, quick date, cool weather, something where it's not going to be going through a lot of abuse. I'm going to say that I haven't experienced a foundation like this since the most recent NARS foundation. I believe it was the Creamy Radiant Longwear. That was just Transfer City. I could barely touch like this and I would have a handful of foundation. Forget about hugging anyone. It was just an awful foundation mess. So I wouldn't say that this is a mess because I didn't notice any direct transfer as far as it being on my hands or on my clothes, but it just doesn't seem to be on my skin anymore. I don't know if it evaporated, what kind of magic happened, but here's we are. I am so torn about this because I really wanted this to work. And for $12, you really, really want it to work. You know what? I'm gonna have to say it's a no for me. It's a no. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try here and there as far as different weather, just different conditions, what I'm doing that day. I'm just going to see exactly what it can tolerate and what it can't. Maybe it has a little niche in my life where it would be nice because, like I said, I really enjoyed the initial application and the first 2 hours. It looked gorgeous. With that luminous primer underneath, it just looked absolutely gorgeous on my skin. But I can tell that people with oily skin would probably encounter problems with this because if it's breaking up on me and my oils are extremely minimal, it might break up on oily skin. What do we think? It was worth the shot. I'm glad I tried it. Would I repurchase it again? Probably not. Will I use the bottle? Probably half. So it won't be my favorite thing, it won't be my go-to, but I am definitely gonna go ahead, give it a shot, at least enough to use some of it up, and then if I don't like it by then, I will go ahead and pass that along to a family member. I really hope you enjoyed this review of the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. Thank you for coming back for a second time this week. And for everyone who's new, if you could do me a favor and hit that red subscribe button, I'd be forever grateful. And go ahead and ring that bell for notifications, because I'm a teeny tiny channel and you are going to need all of those babies in order to have me come up in your feed. So if you are new here, thanks for coming. If you're returning, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I want to catch up with everyone. And yeah, lots of things have been happening in life, so I will be doing a life update video here very soon. So don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All that information will be in the description box below, along with everything that I applied to my face today. So until next time, you guys, love, light, and highlight.